In this video, we're going to talk about the countryside and the city in terms of comparing them both, in terms of the ups and downs of both of them, in terms of what it's like with the safety, cost of living, the environment in terms of what goes on with the environment, and what you can do in terms of activities. And everyone we're talking about is based on my experience, as the only place that I've been to in terms of a city is London, which was nearly 7 years ago at the time of recording this. As if you don't know, for most of my life I've lived in the countryside, as I was born and raised in the countryside, as I'm going to be talking about my experience in terms of what it's like when I went to London and compared to the countryside, in terms of the differences with both of them. So let's get into it. So first I'll talk about the safety. So if you're a person who lives in a city, you may know that crime rate is high in cities, as lots of people live there, which may make you think about safety in terms of protecting yourself from getting robbed, as people who live in a city can get things stolen from them, like a package, as people live right next door to you, as you might want to be careful of what you take with you, so you don't get things stolen from you, such as valuables, which may be worth a lot of money. As when I went to London, there were a lot of people going past me, as there may be times when people in the public may get things stolen from them, when a person goes up to someone and tries to steal from them without them noticing, as I remember seeing a video or when someone was caught on camera taking things out the back of someone's rucksack whilst they were walking without notice. As I remember walking past people, nobody could get into my rucksack, as I did put padlocks on the zip, making it impossible to get into my rucksack. Second is the environment. So what I mean by environment is that if you're a person who lives in a city, you may know that lots of things going on at once in terms of traffic and roadworks going on, as in a city there is a lot of traffic everywhere you go, as lots of people live there, as it can be noisy with everything that goes on in a city in terms of traffic and roadworks, depending on the location of the city that you live in, as there may be some places in a city where there is not much noise in terms of traffic that goes past you, but in the countryside it's mostly quiet, as there is not as much traffic that comes into the countryside, as not as many people live there, which makes it better in terms of pollution, as there is not as much traffic and mostly quiet. Next is cost of living. Now I know this might sound big. If you live in a city, houses can be quite expensive to buy, as everything costs more to buy in terms of food and everything that you buy in a city, as you get paid more. As when I went to London, there were some things that were a lot more to buy in terms of how they cost a little bit more to buy, as I do remember going into a cafe which was underneath a shop, as there was a staircase that headed out into the cafe, whereas in the countryside houses don't cost as much to buy, as you can get a house for less in the countryside compared to a city, as things don't cost as much to buy in terms of food and things that get from a town, as you might get paid less if you live in the countryside in terms of how much you get. And the last one is activity. So if you live in the countryside, you can go canoeing or kayaking, as you can do archery, gill scrambling, which is something I don't like. Not because of that, it's just when you get into a lake or river that is very cold, as in the countryside most activities are outdoors, meaning that you have to travel to places to do the activities, whereas in a city you can go up towers, go to museums and music festivals, as well as cinemas, as all you just have to do is get onto the public bus or tube and get transport there, depending where you are and what city you live in terms of transport. As when I went to London, I went up a tower and on the London Eye, as I've been on the tube, which does go fast in a short period of time in terms of how fast it goes when closing the doors and setting it up. And if you have any takes on this in terms of your experiences in terms of what it's like in the countryside or city, in the comment section below, depending on where you live. And as an overall, I will probably say in the countryside, not because it's better, just in terms of safety, as I do think that if you're someone who maybe wants to move into the city or the countryside, is to be self-aware in terms of the ups and downs of both. Follow me on social media to stay connected, links below. Click one of the videos on screen to see another video if you want to watch another video. And stay positive, and I'll see you in the next video.